This is Tom, your host for the Hidden Truths channel. How's everybody doing this evening? Well, tonight's live stream is going to be about Minnesota under the big top, and the circus just ain't ending. And maybe we'll go to a few other places where all this craziness is going on. But I tell you what, watching these protesters pay for their retardedness is actually getting kind of funny. I'm actually enjoying watching it. So that's what we're going to talk about, the circus show that's going on in this country today, especially in these liberal cities. Anyway, I appreciate everybody being here, watching on the replay. I got to wait a few more minutes for some people to show up. So if you want to skip ahead up to about 4 minutes and miss all this, that's more than welcome. But I appreciate you on the replay too. Anyway, let's talk about getting under the AI algorithm on their nerves on this social media platform. Okay. Boy, I tell you what, I put out some shorts that the YouTube AI algorithm is striking a nerve. My God. You know, it was the Alien Gonzalez on how Democrats treat illegal immigrants that are children and stuff. Boy, they don't want that getting out. Or what we're going to talk about tonight, these protesters that are paying for their stupidity, because America has kind of had enough with it. So anyway, I've been putting out shorts like that, and YouTube is doing whatever they can to bury my channel under the prison. You know, one thing I appreciate, my channel made, in the first year on my channel, I've got over 1 million views. I got monetized. I got over 1,500 subscribers. The channel's been really good this year, considering YouTube has had their brakes on, had both feet on the brakes, and I'm just power braking with back tire, just pushing it forward, right? This is one thing about YouTube you need to understand about me. Now that I know that I got that nerve in like a toothache, I'm just rubbing that nerve and rubbing that nerve. I'm going to do everything I can to sit there and make, not everybody has to hear me to strike that nerve. The only one that has to is you, YouTube. Anyway, dealing with the algorithm, boy, I tell you what, when you're over the target. And I've definitely been over the target the last few days. It's not my fault that these people are taking videos of these protesters, these social justice warriors that are getting their asses kicked. I'm loving it. But obviously YouTube don't want me to make shorts about it. But anyway, let's get into the Minnesota under the big top. What's going on in Minneapolis? Like I say, I moved out of Minnesota 3 years ago. So glad I got the hell out of there. Because, after the George Floyd thing, and I had to worry about my house getting burned down by protesters and stuff, having to ask my insurance guy on my house, is terrorism covered under my homeowner's policy? Okay, now it's the same type of stuff that's going on. Okay, what I find humorous about this, like all these people that are taking on ICE agents. Okay, number one, they are enforcing the law. Okay, they're not making the law up or nothing. They're enforcing the laws that are on the books that were written by governing bodies from long ago. They're just enforcing the law. And you got people out there that are just mentally retarded when it comes to that. And then they're taking on ICE. Okay, like I say, ICE is just doing its job. It's not breaking the laws. You're impeding with the cops. I mean, that's just stupid. Like the lady, the couple, was it yesterday or 2 days ago, that was got pulled out of her car saying she was going to a medical appointment, all this other shit. The truth comes out on her. She's a professional agitator, a social justice warrior and teacher and stuff. By the way, she had they left it open for her. Get out of here. You can get out. You can get out. And every time she stopped and start shit. This is the thing, too. How many people that if you got the cops that are doing some operation in a neighborhood, decide that the best thing you can do is drive through the cops that are doing that operation in that neighborhood. Usually, the smart person would go take a detour. They would be smart enough to say, "Hey, I'm not going to get involved in this." But then again, we got instigators that are doing this on purpose. In the mainstream media, what a pack of lies. You know, I watched a video of a student that had recorded their teacher. I can't remember what school it was, that was sitting there because their students were laughing that Renee got shot, okay? And this could have been you. No, it wouldn't have been none of her students, because none of her students would have gone out there and sat there and messed with ice like these people are doing. I mean, we see what happens when you're trying to run ice over. What happens? You get shot. We see what happens when you put blowhorns in their faces and shit like that. You get maced. And you got these, after they get maced, they're crying like a bunch of little bitches. Like a bunch of little bitches. I'm dying. I can't breathe. I'm dying. Really? Ever been through a gas chamber? That's one thing we have to do in the service. But also teach you how to use your mask, your gas mask, and make sure your gas mask works. By the way, these people are like surprised that the cops are. I mean, if that was me, you got within what I would say 5 feet is the personal space of a cop. Just start doing it. Don't give these people the benefit of the doubt. Okay? Yeah, everybody has a right to protest, but this is an insurrection. They want to say January 6th was an insurrection. Really? January 6th protesters were stealing weapons from the FBI, breaking into law enforcement cars, and that shit, right? I do remember the law enforcement shooting rubber bullets into the crowd, kind of trying to instigate the shit. But they want to call that an insurrection. But what's going on now is a justifiable act, right? Because ICE is being mean to illegals. This is the thing. Number one, idiot, retarded, illegal, dumb fucks. If you're illegal in this country, self-deport your ass. All you got to do is go to the nearest law enforcement, the cop, and say, "Hey, I'm an illegal. I want to self-deport." And they'll give you $3,000 and a plane ticket to wherever you want to go. But that sounds like a pretty good deal to me. Personally, I think we should build internment camps out in the desert like we had, you know, the POW camps for the Germans and stuff. Put them out there by Area 51 and shit. Work them to fucking death. And decide when they decide, okay, we're done being a slave to this country. We understand you people don't like us. Please let me leave. And then you sit there and kick them the fuck out with the clothes on their back with nothing. This is the thing, we wouldn't be going through this either. If presidents of the past would have did what their oath was, you know, the president doesn't have a lot of duties. Not like they make it think he has. He has to protect the borders, ensure the security of our money supply, which they don't do, okay? $40 trillion in debt. We give them permission to sit there and talk to other countries for us. Okay, and they got to protect our freedom, our liberty, and our right to pursue our happiness. Our government's not supposed to be in our semis, not supposed to be in our fucking tractors, not supposed to be in the Department of Interior and own land when the government's not supposed to own public land, like the BLM, Bureau of Land Management. Government sits there and takes over land and then charges Americans to use it. Sounds like a pretty good scam to me. Okay, but all you people that are fighting ICE, like that 21-year-old kid, college student, who's in transgender studies and is going through some metamorphosis self, right? Let me tell you, all you people that are transgender studies in college, you know what that college degree is worth? It's worth the same as a college degree that you got from a German university during Hitler's era on the Jewish question. That's how much your graduate college is worth, okay? Because when all this silly shit gets in, you're never going to get a job because people are, what'd you go to college for? Gender studies? Oh, you're a freaking retard, okay? But anyway, 21-year-old, right megaphone, right by that guy. Why does I get taken out? Because he was that far from that fucking officer. Normal people know if I were to do that, let's say I'm a constitutional conservative, but let's say Trump did something, well, he's done stuff, that I felt that it was time for us vets to sit there and push against these people. Of course, we'd be more organized and be more threatening. But, I sit there and take on an ICE agent, whoever, the FBI agent or whatever. And remember, they're protecting the government. Okay? The FBI, the ATF, the ICE, they're all protecting the government, not the American people. And that's one thing you Americans need to understand. Okay? The well-regulated militia, vets like me, patriots, are meant to protect the American people and the Constitution. Okay? Not the government. The well-regulated militia is not there to protect the fucking government. But all you people wonder, if I were to do that, like I say, I were to protest, let's say I would have went to January 6th, and got one of those cops' face, I would end up dead. Okay, but see, me being smart, I'm going to do it in a smart way where I don't get, where you're a retard, okay? I know the government's heavy-handed, no shit. And you're giving them every reason to be. Like I say, I said this back when Trump put troops in D.C. way back, was that August? I was saying, if you don't want troops in your city, then I suggest that all the people in the city drop their differences. You have black gang members helping little old ladies across the street, both white and black. You all get along. Have some videos of that. Then Trump would have a hard time putting the military in your city. But, he's going to have to enact the Insurrection Act. And that is because they want to. Okay, remember, this is maybe 15% of Minnesotans that are for this. 15%, 85% aren't. This isn't the majority. This is just a screaming minority that wants everybody to feel sorry for. Another way to solve this real quick, Trump, real quick, would be to arrest Tim Walz and that fucking Mayor Fry. Somalian-speaking piece of shit white guy who had, during his party for winning the election, had the manager of the Leering Center right behind him as he was dancing around. I'm sure there's no connection there, right? But look at what's been dropped because of these riots going on. It's like I say, Trump's allowing this to happen to be a distraction. He wants the troops in all the cities. And all you mega and liberals are fighting with each other, are giving him the reason. And like I say, when the Democrats take over in 4 years, if we have an election, boy, they got a lot of precedents that have been set. I really wish people could start getting the hell along. I really wish that, the one time our government is doing something to enforce the law, and you got these morons against it, these Democrats, but we're against Obama getting rid of 5 million illegals. We're against Clinton and the Elian Gonzalez deal. Now, were you? I put a short on there about Elian Gonzalez. This is the way Democrats deal with illegal children and deport them. Remember that? YouTube doesn't want that short to be on there. Like I say, if you like the content, please hit the thumbs up, to subscribe, and the bell notification. And check out my other content, because YouTube is slamming down hard. Hard. They're trying to get Americans fighting with each other. That's what all this is about. That's why they never They could have ended this the second night, just like in Portland, all that shit that's still going on. They could have ended that the night it started by saying, no, this ain't allowed no more. To where now they're wearing blow up costumes and stuff. I mean, this is ridiculous. We're the United States of America. Russia and China are laughing their asses off at us right now. Totally lost control. And we got a bunch of zipperhead zeros with no brain functions, okay? Like I say, anybody who's for this illegal immigration, they're invaders of this country. They're not coming here to be Americans. They're invading. They're coming here to set up their country using our tax dollars. And, and then the Somalians. Well, without us, you wouldn't have America. How many Somalians showed up here in the 1500s with nothing but trees to sit there and build their houses and shit? Which one of them showed up? Not a fucking one. So after this country existed for 220 years, after they were starting to let in, all of a sudden, they're the backbone of this country? Are you freaking kidding me? Driving six-figure cars. But don't worry. Trump's got the DOJ. Pam Bondi is investigating Tim Walz and the fraud and Mayor Fruitcake Fry. There's an investigation going on. Like I say, they don't solve any problems. If they solve problems, then we'd start getting along. If we solve problems and started putting criminals in jail, we'd have to start with the one in the White House and work our way down. Like I say, what happened to the Epstein list? They're not even, they said what, 1% was released? That was 90% redacted? What happened to that? Say the government's had that evidence for 7 years now. Nothing's happening. Like I say, all you people that want Trump in 2028, that's fine. You know who he's going to be running against? Barack Obama. If Trump's going to run for a third term, you goddamn right, Barack Obama is then. And since we won't have any term limits then just welcome to Barack Obama being president till he's dead. See, this is the mega not thinking straight. See, if we follow the Constitution, the laws of this country, the document that we gave, allowing these people to govern us, if we handcuff the government again and make them follow the rules, all these fucking problems will go away. Like I say, all these presidents and administrations that let all these illegals in, they need to be in prison. They need to be in prison. No one is voting Obama back in. Well, we'll see. Trump against Obama. The two heavyweights. Who do you think's going to win? I'm a constitutional conservative. None of the above. 1776. But I hate to tell you, Trumpsters, there's no way he can beat Obama. There's no way. Okay? Because this is the thing, you mega Trumpsters. Remember, I voted for Trump. But what did he tell me? He didn't need me no more. I believe the list existed. So he called me a bunch of fucking names. Said I was a Democrat fucking shield, basically. And then again, now they're releasing redacted things of something that didn't exist. But remember, he told me to kiss his ass. And now I'm telling Trump to kiss my ass. And that's why the Republicans are going to lose in the midterms and the presidency. Because all of us that voted for him ain't going to make that mistake again. But we definitely aren't going to vote Democrat. We'll just make sure that we got enough powder and brass in our boomsticks to settle the problem then. Because like I say, when us vets come out to protest, it's going to be called war. All right? In a war that's going to be a lot different than the shit that's running around in Minneapolis. I mean, these people. You want to protest and act tough? And the first thing a cop does when you fucking walk, when he's got his back to you and you follow him, he turns around and you run away right away? What the hell are you going to do? How do I want you on my line defending, our part of the line if you're going to run right away? What's going to happen to your sector of fire? I mean, I'm sorry, but you protesters need to grow little balls. You need to go home and rethink what you're doing. And the thing is, you need to rethink about who the enemy is. Okay? Like I say, which wings of the same bird? Tell me which party doesn't steal money from you through taxes, spend it on shit you don't want them to spend it on, and then do everything they can to take away your constitutional rights. What party doesn't do that? Tell me which one. And now we got a president that seems to, Teddy Roosevelt was speak softly and carry a big stick. Trump says speak loudly and threateningly as you're swinging the big stick. I mean, you honestly think that's going to be a positive direction for this country? All I know is that goes against everything our founding fathers believed in. And, the United States does not subjugate people. We don't. No matter what the reason. And Trump, if Russia or China were to have more deals with Greenland and Denmark than you do, well, maybe they're better at diplomacy than you are. But, I know what's over the Golden Dome thing. I said that from the beginning. It's strategic. We got the Aleutians in Canada. We're going to need something on the European side, Greenland. But like I say, why don't we just make a deal with them to put our stuff there? They're NATO, right? Or did they find something there that's worth more than gold? Who knows? What was it? $700 billion they want to pay for Greenland? Okay, number one. Why would Greenland take our worthless piece of fucking green piece of paper? Why? Why would Denmark even want to take any of that fucking garbage? Because garbage, okay? And I got a feeling that $700 billion that we would give them would turn into probably $17 trillion we'd make off of whatever they found there that they don't want anybody to know about. Anyway, but come back here, we're going to have the Insurrection Act. He's just waiting for everybody to beg for it so much. Because then he can say, I was just doing what the people asked. You're sitting there telling me that crime is down in this country, but now we need the feds and the military in the streets to maintain order, but crime is down and people are all getting along and shit? Who the hell's believing this shit? We have a few military bases there. This is what I'm saying. It's NATO. Why do we have to take over NATO? All we got to do is throw a little bit of money at the country and they'll let us do whatever they want there. Why does it have to be property of the United States? Because there's something there the United States wants to own. That's why. Because otherwise they could do what they want there. I mean, you think the Greenlanders are going to, they want McDonald's. They talk to the younger generation of the Greenlanders, and they want to become part of America so they can have McDonald's, so they can poison themselves with McDonald's food. But that's the younger generation, right? They want fast food. Marie Antoinette, right? Let them eat cake. But the older ones are like, hell no. We don't even want to be part of Denmark. They want to be they're Greenlanders, okay? But anyway, crazy times, right? And then Trump called off the strike in Iran. What's the matter, tough guy? Anyway, I wonder what the truth is behind that. You know, he sits there and tries to scare people. This is the thing about these beta male politicians, okay? A real alpha male knows you're a fucking beta male, okay? And in the real world and natural selection, you don't have a chance. And it's against an alpha male's being to sit there and let a beta male piece of shit try to think they dominate him. This is one thing about the FBI and ATF, all the alpha males in there that turn themselves into beta male bitches. It's just true. This is Sanity from Sweden, American edition. I tell you what, all of us that live in white-dominated cultures and countries, even though we're the minority on this planet, we're going to eventually have to fight for our existence. You're a free person, no matter where you are in the world, you're going to have to fight. And like I say, when it does finally happen in one country, I think the dominoes are going to fall in all the Western countries. Canada, Germany, France, Norway, Sweden, okay? Maybe not Poland because they put an end to it, but us, England, is going to fall into where free people are going to, they're going to put their foot down and say, no, you guys have crossed the line. The thing is, like I say, why do we have this immigration problem in the United States? Because our presidents allowed it in their policy. They had policies to encourage illegal immigration with asylum. Back during the Cold War, you had to land a MiG fighter on an American base to get asylum. It wasn't handed out because, oh, my neighbor didn't like me in the country I came from. Okay, that's a bunch of shit. And look at what we got. I mean, these Americans, you want to sit there and have one of these illegals, invaders? Fine, sponsor them. Take the time and spend the money, do it legally, and sponsor them. Bring them into your home, become completely responsible for them. Pay for everything. I love how all these politicians on either side have all these great ideas on what they need to do when they're in office. But the best thing is they don't have to pay for it. I mean, jeepers cripes. If you could build a house that your neighbors had to pay for, what kind of house would you have? Would you live in a little shack? I don't think so. And take in the homeless as well. If we get rid of the H-1B visa workers, the illegals in this country, we're going to have a lot more jobs. And I'll tell you what, when it comes to taking our country back, I would rather have a division of homeless vets under me than anybody else. You know why? Because they're not going to bitch. And all these homeless vets, just like in boot camp, they go in the building, they get their hair cut, they get shaved, they go into the next big room, they drop their civvy clothes, they get their uniforms and their sea bags and pack everything in it, and then they go out the back door with the sea bag on their back and they march off to the barracks. You know the difference between those men when they went in that door from when they come out that door, what it would be like? Like you say, I'll take a division of homeless vets any day. And then those vets, they'll have a purpose again. They'll be around people that understand them. They'll have a home again. And a lot of homeless vets are homeless because they choose to be. Because we just don't fit in. Me personally, I had issues. But, you know, I'm not going to be homeless. But I am a poor, humble man. But, you know, that's who I would take in. And I wish these homeless vets could get together. I'd get some messages. Like, say, give them a purpose. You'd find a whole different, like you say, when they walked in that door to get their haircuts to when they walked out of that building, ready to march off to the barracks. Wow. There would be a complete difference. Just with the haircut and the clothes, because they already got the mentality Not like they have to go through boot camp again. I'm sure it's the same as in the Army. What's a Marine? Always a Marine. You can take a civilian and turn him into a Marine, but you can't turn a Marine back into a civilian. And I'm sure that is the way with every service. By the way, their purpose is coming. Do you have jobs now? We aren't. You people taking them. So-called legal. Do you have jobs now? We aren't. You people take. I don't. I own a tree business. I own a small tree business. I make. One thing about me, I got in a position where I make $500 to $800 an hour, and I only got to work a few hours a month because my time is more important to me than fucking money. And I refuse to sit there and pay middle class taxes again. All that time that I spent just to give to the fucking government to rip me the hell off. So I make enough to survive. Okay? Put a little bit away. Be able to get my airplane, stuff like that. My ultralight airplane. Not some Cessna or anything like that. The American dream is alive. Well, I hope so. Does that include PTSD? I'm sorry. Let's go fishing. Amen. People may sit there and look at us ground pounding vets or whatever and say, there's something wrong with you. No shit. What was your first fucking clue? Okay? What average civilian is going to charge a machine gun that's shooting at him? None of you fucking cowards. And then you wonder why we're so different? No shit. But don't worry. Times are coming to America where everybody's going to understand it. Okay? When you got the enemy coming down your street, and you'll be like, God, I remember when I listened to that crazy-ass jarhead on YouTube. I wish he was in my front yard right now. Because all these beta males you have want to protect you. They're going to be standing behind you. A lot of us, we took an oath. And, now that I didn't expect in this time of my life that it would come to where I'm going to be a patriot. Okay? The war is coming. Whether there's a Democrat in the White House or a Republican in the White House, that they have sowed division so much that it's coming. Okay? So everybody just needs to prepare for that. But, they get the military in the streets. Like I say, when I was bitching about the military being in Washington, D.C., it hasn't drained the swamp yet. It's got the military in D.C. It hasn't drained the swamp yet, but he got that guy off the corner that's selling that quarter bag. He got rid of that guy, got rid of the homeless, but the swamp creatures are still fucking there. By the way, I did a video on saying these people ain't going home. They ain't going home. And I got some smart ass on there. Oh, yeah, they're gone in 30 days. Well, it's been 5 months, and they're still there. And now National Guard's getting killed in D.C. I've been on YouTube for 2.5 years. My one channel got canceled and stuff. And I have watched it. You can go back through my videos. Things just keep getting worse. Worse and worse. All I know is a year ago, when Trump was president-elect, I had a lot more. Thought things were going to be a lot better than what they are. I thought we were going to bring back the American culture, get rid of the illegals, all of them. And this is the thing, Trump, fuck ICE. Like I say, you want to get rid of all these illegals in a week? This is how you do it. You sit there and go, okay, you American citizens, ICE can't do it. We can't do it ourselves. Past administration screwed up. We let all these illegals in. Okay, so it's time for you Americans to clean up your city, your county, your township, whatever it may be. Round up the illegals in it, give us a call, and we'll give you $1,000 a head. Within 48 hours, 95% of them will self-deport. Guaranteed. But why don't we do that? Because that would solve the problem. If our government solves a problem, they can't make it bigger and spend more money on it. And now they're using, like I say, now we're going to create all this hate and discontent. Like I say, if ICE would have just clamped down on them right away with the protests right away. Says, you're not allowed to do this. You're not going to impede with us. You're not allowed to impede a cop. You're not allowed to impede any law enforcement agent from doing their job. Okay? And ICE is the same way. And they're just doing what the Constitution and the laws require them to do. If they're not going to do their job, then they should be in ICE and get paid for it. And this is one thing that Trump's doing that I voted for, but he ain't getting rid of him fast enough. He needs the American people to help him. And I really wish he would sit there. The thing is, we don't need him to come out and tell us. Americans, this is the thing, Americans. If the government's not going to do the job, we're ultimately responsible to be the stewards of this country, not the government. We are, okay? If the government doesn't want to do its job, we do it, and then we deal with the government because it didn't do its job. But we can't allow these politicians to keep doing this. Like I say, the Somalian fraud, when it comes out that Somalian fraud is probably going to be $1.5 trillion. I said that from day one. They said, oh, it's only $9 billion. Any government entitled program that they could defraud, they were defrauding in every fucking state. Every government entitlement that they could defraud. Not just one, okay? Not just the daycare. But don't worry. Pam Bondi is investigating. They got an investigation going. You know why Tim Walz isn't going to be arrested? You know why Mayor Fry isn't going to be arrested? Because they're on the list that don't exist. And the last thing they need is a fucking canary. I mean, what about Tim Walz and those murders of those Democratic politicians and their families from that guy who was appointed by Tim Walz to in the area to help Somalians adjust to Minnesota life, right? One of my children were involved in that. But anyway, it said that Tim Walz hired him to kill these people and Amy Klobuchar so he could get the Senate seat. Nothing happened. How can we know that? That BO out all over and the cops still don't have a fucking clue. But don't worry. The DOJ and the FBI are right on it investigating Tim Walz. And I'm sure they're going to come up with something, right? Right? Dude, you need mental health care. I appreciate you being here and commenting. I like it when my moderators aren't here because they be getting rid of people like you. I like the trolls here. They help my analytics. They say these trolls, I mean, I'm telling you, maybe they'll graduate from kindergarten. But like I say, you're dealing with somebody who got teased growing up, went in the Marine Corps, and, what the hell are you going to say to me? What? Oh, my God. Words are going to hurt me. What a bunch of goofballs. Fucking goofballs. Same people that sit there lined up for the black labeled now COVID vaccine. And I'm sure that has something to do with the mental illness that's going around in this country. Because I'm sorry, there's no other way to look at these people except mentally ill. Like I say, I take on a cop, I know I'm getting a beat down. All right? If I do it in a stupid way. When I go to fight for my country, okay, it's not going to be like these idiots. Oh, let's have a revolution. We need to pick up arms. We're going to steal from FBI, stealing guns from an FBI vehicle. Woo! You're going to get the Insurrection Act, people. All you cities that want to blow up in this shit, you're going to be dealing with the military. And they're a little bit different than federal agents, okay? Especially if they start putting active duty military in the streets. Okay? You people have no idea what's in store. They shut that down right away. Why don't you just go home and let ICE do its job? It is illegal. It's breaking the law in this country. You are a criminal when you come into this country illegally and then defraud the American taxpayer. That's illegal. Okay? You defraud the government $1 on your taxes and you can go to jail. But these sons of bitches are supposed to be able to steal billions and you're okay with that? And this is another thing. Why? Because America's hardworking, made a country for the future of their children. So we became a great and powerful and rich country. Why do we owe the rest of the world anything? Explain to me why the American taxpayer who goes to work every day owe somebody in Somalia or some other third world country any part of their time or labor because that third world country can't get their head out of their ass and make their country greater. Like Somalians. Oh, we're the backbone of America. America's so great because of us. Well, how come Somalia's a shithole then? How come with trillions of dollars that Somalia's been given by the American taxpayer, your country's still a pile of shit? And then what was that? The ambassador of Somalia to the UN has daycares in Ohio. Like I say, you couldn't make this story up. And it's like the FBI said from the beginning. They went to Minneapolis to cover up the crime, not to expose it, okay? Because there's a lot of politicians from both sides that got their fingers in this shit, okay? Anyway, I'm sorry I'm missing the chat. Trump voter, I'm sure. Like I say, you don't believe me? Go to Lone Wolf Prepper. Watch some of my videos. Go to my videos when this channel first started. Like I say, I got a channel canceled because I was too hard on the Democrats, okay, and calling them out for their shit. I got a channel that was buried under YouTube. I'm a constitutional conservative. So what party do I support? Neither fucking one, because neither one knows what the Constitution is. Well, you can sit there and think I'm a liar. Like I say, all you got to do is go back to my back content, buddy. I got over 2,000 videos on YouTube. You don't believe me? Hey, whatever. I guess I was lying through, 700 videos? Like I say, these people that come on my chat, sit there, listen for 30 seconds, leave a comment and think they knew fucking everything. Then they don't know shit. Okay? Anyway, but, these are the people that are going to get woke up. I mean, this country's in dire straits. I'm doing a live stream and I have adults acting like children, trying to create hate and discontent. We're never going to fix our problems because too many people are blinded by the people that say, your neighbor's your problem. No, the person saying your neighbor's the problem is your enemy. But if you don't know who your enemy is, your enemy can convince you that everybody else is your enemy. Anyway, are you a trumpet? I used to play the trumpet in band. I like the piano more, though. It's more of a challenging instrument. I appreciate everybody being here. I'm going to get going. All you trolls, thank you for being here. I appreciate you being here. All the comments help the analytics on my channel, creating hate and discontent, something YouTube loves, helps my channel grow a little bit. So I appreciate it. Like I say, everybody's got their purpose, even you trolls. So anyway. What we have is taxation without representation. Well, let's just say we have representation, but though our representation ain't listening to us and are taxing the shit out of us. We do have taxation and we do have representation. But you know what? The American people, like I say, there's too much division. You got MAGA and liberal on both sides screaming at each other, right? And like I say, I got these liberals that sit there on my channel and troll. I got the Republicans too, the MAGA. Okay? I haven't figured out who's quite the biggest crybaby yet, the MAGA or the liberals. But they're both close. Anyway, but like I say, with you MAGA and liberals, you got your 15% blue liberal retards, you got your 15% MAGA Trump can do no wrong, and you got the 70% of us in between that are both Democrats, that are constitutional conservatives and Democrats and Republicans that have had enough of this shit, had enough of being lied by both parties, okay? All I know is we got Somalians driving six-figure vehicles, living in multi-million-dollar mansions. And some Americans can barely afford to live in their fucking car. But don't worry, trolls. Keep it up, and you may not even have a fucking tent to sleep in one day or a cardboard box. You want to be part of the problem, you're going to sit there and have to deal with the problem. Okay? Anyway, but you can't tell people that. Like I say, all they do is want to hurt each other. Why stop both parties' stuff? Like I say, wings of the same bird, people. Wings of the same bird. Like you can't see it. They're playing you against each other. Play like a fucking fiddle. See, the thing is, I still live in traditional America. I live in a really small area, less than 2,000 people, about 1,500 people in the whole county. Okay? 4 cops, traditional America, don't have to lock your doors, don't have to take keys out of your vehicle. So I'm on the outside of the bubble, the outside of the cage, looking at the rest of America while it's inside the bubble, losing its frickin' mind, wondering why they can't live in traditional America anymore. Like I say here, we got Democrats and Republicans. But you know what? We're all on the same page. And if you try to come into our area and start shit, you'll be escorted the fuck out by both parties, okay? And believe me, we're so small that strangers stand out like a sore thumb here. We don't have a Starbucks either, so that'll take care of most of the liberals anyway. Anyway, appreciate everybody being here. If you like the content, please hit the thumbs up, the subscribe, and the bell notification. Anything to help the channel grow, like I say. We're all in a world of hurt people. No matter what your political affiliation is, no matter whether you want to be a troll or not, we're all on the sinking Titanic together. Okay? And right now we just keep running more holes into the son of a bitch instead of trying to patch it up. Okay? I'm not going to be the one that's sitting out in the cold ass water knowing I'm going to die. Okay? Because I listened to the captain and everybody say, there's nothing to worry about. You know. I guess that's what happens when you're a Marine that travels the world and gets to see a lot of bad parts of the world. You know, you don't listen. It's just coming here. Anyway. But like I say, I appreciate everybody being here. And, you know, do another live stream, probably not tomorrow night. Like I say, YouTube has slammed down my channel so much that I'm just kind of taking it slower than I used to. Like I say, I'm trying to sit there and warn people, and eventually I'm just going to sit there and go, live like that. And then I'll sit there while the world's sitting there destroying itself, be drinking my beverage and eating my popcorn, watching the whole world below me just blow up because everybody decided that it was better to be your neighbor's enemy than be your neighbor's friend. Love thy neighbor as thyself. And nobody loves themselves anymore either. Anyway, how do you feel about sending U.S.? We should be sending none of our money to any fucking country. None. Like I say, because the United States used to be wealthy, the rest of the world gets the benefit from the American taxpayer. That's a bunch of shit. That's a bunch of shit, people. We can't afford it no more. And when we finally can't afford government entitlements no more, that's when the government's going to face the real torches and pitchforks. When the EBT and all the government entitlements goes away. Because all those people, they're going to go hungry. And like I say, Trump wants to get rid of the government entitlements. I'm all for that. But then we need to get rid of the H-1B visa workers and the illegals so these people have entry-level jobs to go to. Oh, that's right. Trump said the Americans aren't capable of doing entry-level jobs yet, but our education system is so great. Like I say, I would love to sit there and get in the debate with Trump for 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes. Okay? But see, if you really want to ask a politician a real question, well, that's not allowed. So anyway, but yeah, all our foreign aid needs to go the fuck away. Every last dime. But why does America like giving other countries money? Because then it gets our fucking foot in the door, so we can sit there and influence them here and there, just like a fucking lobbyist in D.C. influencing our congressmen and the senators. Even the Supreme Court justices have lobbyists. The Supreme Court justice is supposed to vote on the Constitution, not a fucking lobbyist. I'm just curious on how that works. Anyway. Hey, I got 187. Keep it up, buddy. Keep it up. Keep it up. I already answered you, dumb shit. What the hell did I tell you? No foreign aid, dumb fuck. What's that sound like? No foreign aid to any country. What's that sound like? Then again, you probably, not too bright. Like I say, you can't fix stupid. Like I say, I think the vaccine, the black labeled vaccine, has a lot to do with the mental illness state of this country. And we're paying for it now. And like I say, all you people that want to get on here and rag on me, are you trained and experienced to deal with this type of shit? Well, I am. So when it's coming down your street, when all this shit's coming down your street, just remember, you wanted it. And there are some of us that, they just say we can handle ourselves when it comes to that. But America's pretty soft. Anyway, I appreciate everybody being here. Like I say, even you 187, keep it up. Appreciate it, okay? There's nothing like trolls sitting there promoting my channel, especially when they sit there and keep repeating the question. It's just bing, 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 bing. It's like the slot machine checking out money. But hey, guess what? They're trying to get under my skin. Anyway, not working. So anyway, appreciate everybody being here. I'm going to get the hell out of here. And I can't wait to see what the circus brings this week. But when the Insurrection Act is invoked and we have troops in the street, even in more cities, oh my God. It's just going to get bad, people. It's going to get bad. And like I say, I live in traditional America. I'm on the outside of the bubble looking in at this shit and saying, how are you people putting up with this shit? Watch some of my other content. See what freedom looks like. Let's listen to it. Okay? See the life I live. All I want is other Americans to feel freedom and not have to be afraid of their neighbor or the government. To be able to pursue their happiness and be free and enforce the laws of this country. I'm sorry, if you're an illegal invader in this country, you need to go. Just the way it is. Because I'm not allowed to break any laws in this country. Either are you. So why should somebody who breaks the law coming into this country be able to continuously break laws because we feel sorry for them because they had a bad up, because they didn't have the opportunity we had growing up? Like I say, all these people, instead of coming to our country and ruining the fuck out of our country, change your country. Do what our founding fathers did. Have a revolution, and make your country great. Whatever, but you're not going to destroy our country trying to sit there and make your country great. Anyway, that's all I got for now. Appreciate everybody being here. Like I say, please hit that thumbs up to subscribe and the bell notification. Anything to help this channel grow. Because like I say, I love being that nerve in the AI algorithms, that nerve in their tooth that's just driving them nuts. And I love applying the pressure or whatever it takes to make that nerve just ring. So anyway, like I say, check out my other content. You'll see what I mean. I don't hold back. Anyway, appreciate everybody being here. And this is Tom with Hidden Truths. I'm out of here.